Executive officer, the CEO of a multinational company, has been found involved. In fact, his company that was involved in e-publishing has been arrested for the possession of cocaine worth 20,000 rupees. Based on a specific tip-off, Narcotics Control Bureau officials have arrested Sanjiv Bhatnagar, the 50-year-old head of Juve India Private Limited, as he was taking delivery of cocaine packed in a delivery package at the courier center. He was immediately taken into custody along with his driver and later remanded in judicial custody. Investigations have revealed that Sanjiv, who ordered the cocaine through a website, was getting it from a Bengaluru-based supplier through the courier service for the past 1 year. As the latest coming in at this moment, he was ordering cocaine online. It's only when he was receiving the packet is when the Narcotics Bureau sleuths got hold of him. He has been arrested and remanded to custody. Shrisha Reddy now joins us with all the latest. We are also joined in by Editor South T.S. Sudhir for all the latest. Shrisha, I'll come across to you first. Just take us through the various details of this entire case, because it sounds quite bizarre that you can order cocaine, over the internet.
Well, exactly, Sanket. It's quite shocking, in fact, because this has been happening for last 1 year, and the police has got tip-off only now. And based on that information, that particular tip-off from this SMPK Courier Services, the police had reached there, and that's when they caught him red-handed. And he in fact went with his driver. In fact, his driver was not aware that why he was going to this courier services quite often to collect this courier. And this particular drug that whatever he had got it from Bangalore, which he ordered through the website, it's worth about 20,000 rupees in the local market. So it's quite shocking, and of course the police have nabbed him finally.
Now, Shrisha, the fact that he was receiving the packet, which means that he had ordered, must have made the payment as well. It was packed in Bengaluru by a company. It was sent to him in Chennai. It's only when he was receiving is when the sleuths actually caught hold of him. This basically means, Shrisha, that there was a full strategy on the part of the Narcotics Bureau to make sure that this chain of events gets completed. They are able to mount evidence that, yes, the packet that was ordered has now reached the end consumer, and that's when they will apprehend this man. So it was like a well-planned operation.
Well, exactly, Sanket. The entire thing, completely shows that how it was well managed. It's because he first ordered it online, and then they had sent it to him, and the transaction also happened online. So everything is planned. And in fact, as I mentioned earlier, this has been happening for a long time. And not just only to this particular supplier. In fact, they have been supplying to other people as well. So police have now got this tip-off from this particular, the courier services, in fact. And that's when now that many more such things can come out, is what the zonal officer did tell India Today. So yes, of course, the investigation is still going on. So to get more details of about this entire case.
That's right. We are also joined in by T.S. Sudhir for more on this story. Now, Sudhir, do you know who this man is? I mean, has he been ordering cocaine in the past as well? The information that the sleuths have provided is that this was going on for the past 1 year. And as Shrisha mentions, could the net perhaps widen to other people as well, not just in Chennai, but other places as well? Because this is some delivery company in Bengaluru which is carrying this out.
Two things first, Sanket, to answer the first part of your question. The investigating agencies do believe that this has been going on for some time. The very fact that a very well-oiled mechanism of a courier was used to actually supply and get and procure the narcotics obviously means that...
Sudhir, just like to cut you short at this moment. We are joined in by an official of the Narcotics Control Bureau, Mr. Prem Anand. Mr. Anand, many thanks for joining us here on India Today. Can you tell us a little about how this raid or this entire, arrest was actually made?
Actually, this was a case where we got some input that the cocaine is coming from Bangalore, and is probably supplied by a Bangalore-based syndicate which is run by some nationals of African countries. And it was being delivered through the local transport courier services. I mean, some of the transport services run the parcel service also. And the person who was accused of this case, he personally came to pick up the stuff. And it has been going for last 1.5 years. That's what he has confessed.
Now, what really was the strategy, Mr. Prem Anand, because it almost appears that the National Narcotics Bureau or the Narcotics Bureau actually, laid a plot, because you waited till he actually was in receipt of the packet or the parcel before you made these arrests.
No, it's not like that. See, when the parcel comes to a place, we have to confirm who has ordered or who is coming to pick it up. So we have to see that the person actually whom we suspect is picking it up or not. So once the person picks up the stuff, then we have to give them a notice that we have to examine what is there in the possession of that person. So the possession has been proved. It was 4 grams of cocaine concealed inside some packet. So it has to be like that.
Now, Mr. Prem Anand, the fact that there is demand or that there is a consumer is one part of the story. And in this case, he's a high profile, he's a CEO of a multinational company. The other side of the story is that there is someone supplying this as well. What is your agency actually doing to crack down on this, this Bengaluru-based company, which was actually supplying cocaine?
Just last month or maybe 2 months back, we have got a African national with 200 grams of cocaine in Chennai, and the Bangalore NCB has also been arresting a lot of offenders involved in this. Cocaine, particularly, this network is a huge network, and we always keep track of what is happening. And in the last 1 year, we have done 25 seizures in the Chennai Zona unit itself. And it's like every day we have to follow it. It's a difficult task, but we have to...
But Mr. Anand, it's not just about some company in Bengaluru which is actually doing this. It's also about the fact that there is some e-portal, there is some online website which is facilitating this entire act. Are you in the knowledge of...
This was not through online. This was through a personal contact whom he had requested, and that person was involved in the peddling of this thing, cocaine. So that guy has actually sent it by a routine parcel service. It has not been ordered online. There are online forms, you're right. And we also monitor that. Recently, we have sent up reports against at least 10 portals which have been using the net for supply of drugs, and all are based at foreign countries. So that is also an important issue, and we are keeping track of that.
Mr. Sinha, my final question to you, what in this particular case, what is to be expected next? As far as investigation
and... We are going to find out the total network, who is supplying and who is behind the supplier. And we already have a lot of clue regarding who are involved in this networking, the peddling of cocaine. And I'm sure we'll be able to find out the main source.
Mr. Sinha, many thanks for joining us here on India Today this morning. So it's a big story that we are breaking at this moment. A multinational company CEO, Mr. Sanjiv Bhatnagar, has been nabbed by the Narcotics Control Bureau. He was caught picking up a cocaine parcel which he had ordered for 20,000 rupees. Let me quickly go back to T.S. Sudhir at this moment, after which we will go across to Mr. Harish Bijur. But first I want to come across to T.S. Sudhir. Sudhir, I'm sorry we had to cut you short at this moment because we had the Narcotics Control Bureau official. You were saying?
Yes, in fact, some of the things that the Narcotics Bureau officials are also telling me is that the number of rave parties has kind of increased in many cities in South India. And in fact, as opposed to the earlier routes through North India, now it is the cities in South India which are one of the favorite zones, and it is essentially the Afghanistan, Pakistan, South India, Sri Lanka, Bangladesh route which is now favored. And perhaps that's what has also facilitated many of the easy procurement of these kind of narcotics. Apart from that, a city like, say, Hyderabad, which has a large number of chemical firms, they have also been under the radar as far as the Narcotics Bureau is concerned, as well as Control Bureau is concerned, and also the separate city police. For instance, they do believe that many of these chemical firms, which are located mainly on the outskirts of big cities, they do kind of supply this kind of psychotropic substances on the sly. And the value of the seized narcotics in India is just about 30 crore rupees, while it could be anywhere in the range of about 300 crore rupees in the international market. So they obviously do believe that something like this, what has been unearthed, is only the tip of the iceberg. A lot more is happening which needs to be cracked by the NCB.
Absolutely. Mr. Harish Bijur also joins us from Bengaluru for more on this. Mr. Bijur, what do you make of this? I mean, T.S. Sudhir actually says, and he raises an important point, that South India is now becoming the new hub as far as consumers are concerned of these deadly drugs.
Yeah, I think this is a crazily dangerous development. If you really ask me, this could be the worst articulation of e-commerce because e-commerce is meant to be legit. And unfortunately, if one is able to order drugs and substances of these kind, I think there goes e-commerce and its ability to be straightforward. Knocking down on these issues is certainly an imperative.
No, Mr. Bijur, in this particular case, as the sleuth of the Narcotics Control Bureau said that the drug was not ordered online, but he was, ordering the drugs through some person that he knew. But e-commerce websites or e-commerce platforms are used. Websites are used. Online portals are used to carry out, purchase and sale of drugs. Do you think that this is a disturbing trend?
I think that's a disturbing trend because, there is one other trend which is, certain kinds of pharmaceutical offerings are also ordered online at times. And many of these possibly are not great things for people to be sharing without a prescription. So I think, one needs to really crack down on this development.
Okay. Okay, Mr. Bijur, many thanks for joining us. This is going to remain our top focus here. An e-publishing firm CEO has been picked up by the Narcotics Control Bureau. Sanjiv Bhatnagar was caught while taking an order of cocaine worth 20,000 rupees.